George Orwell, the man whose words you've likely quoted without ever knowing the man behind them. A prophet of dystopia, a torchbearer of truth, a critic of power. But what if I told you Orwell was also a contradiction? A man waging a silent war within himself, his life a paradox of convictions and compromise. This is not just a tale of political ideologies or literary brilliance. This is the dual life of Orwell, beyond ideologies. To know Orwell, you must first unlearn everything you think you know, because beneath the surface of his words, those barbed critiques of totalitarianism, was a man constantly wrestling with a world he wanted to change, yet feared he couldn't escape. He was, in a sense, the architect of a prison, and its prisoner too. Born Eric Arthur Blair in 1903, Orwell's Duality began early. A child of the British Empire, raised in the shadow of its grandeur and its guilt. By day, he was a product of privilege, attending Eton College, rubbing shoulders with the aristocracy. By night, he was a dreamer, haunted by the suffering of those beneath him. A rebel in a bureaucrat's uniform. Orwell believed in truth. But what is truth when the world is drowning in lies? As he chronicled the lives of the poor in Down and Out in Paris and London, he became both an advocate for their plight and an observer, detached, always on the periphery of the suffering he documented. He lived their struggle but never truly belonged to it. A paradox of empathy and distance. In 1936, Orwell's convictions led him to Spain to fight against Franco's fascists. But war is never just. The battlefields were riddled not only with bullets, but betrayal. Communist allies turned enemies. Factions devoured each other in the name of ideology. Orwell wrote, "The Spanish War taught me that political words are often meaningless." The man who had come to fight for justice left disillusioned, scarred, literally and metaphorically. Orwell's second truth: fighting for what you believe in often reveals the fragility of belief itself. Orwell's genius lay in his ability to distill complex truths into chilling simplicity. Animal Farm wasn't just a satire, it was a warning, a mirror reflecting the corruptibility of revolutions. And then came 1984, the masterpiece that would cement his legacy as a prophet of dystopia. But here's the irony. While Orwell railed against surveillance and control, he himself was deeply suspicious, wary of everyone and everything. In his final years, Orwell retreated to a remote island. Here, the duality of his life became most apparent. The prophet of rebellion, living as a hermit. The critic of control, seeking solitude to escape the chaos of the world. A man obsessed with truth, yet haunted by the possibility that his truths were insufficient to change anything. Orwell's third and final truth: the fight for truth is eternal, but so is its cost. Orwell's life was not a neat narrative. It was a mosaic of contradictions. A critic of imperialism who served the empire. A fighter for socialism disillusioned by its flaws. A man who sought to reveal truths, but remained an enigma himself. Beyond ideologies, Orwell reminds us of the complexity of human nature, that we are all, in some way, dual beings, seeking justice, yet complicit in its absence, dreaming of freedom, yet shackled by our fears. And perhaps that is Orwell's greatest legacy, not as a prophet, nor as a hero, but as a man who dared to ask, what does it mean to be free? And are we ever truly free from the world or ourselves? Orwell dared to ask the questions most of us fear to face. What about you? Don't let these truths slip through your fingers. Hit subscribe now and join a community unearthing the stories and ideas that shape our world and the shadows they cast. Don't miss what could change how you see everything. Your journey begins here.